What's up, guys? Welcome back to WCS America Challenger League. We're about to get into our last game of the night, and it is very important. I can't emphasize enough the difference between getting into Premier League next season and getting into Challenger League. We're tied 1-1. It all comes down to this. Who's going to take it, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, both these guys have fought so hard to get here. Both of them have won one series, lost one series. The deciding map is going to be Neo Planet S. Game 3 here. State lost Game 1, just basically freeing the force field. Won Game 2 with some great, basically, counter-compositional play. Blink Soccer versus Phoenixes, charge loss against Mass Immortals. Very, very heads-up play here.
Super cool. Super cool play. You know, you can tell how smart he is, right? Making all these super high-level decisions to take out the Chinese player. And anything can happen in this game, especially on a map like Neo Planet S, where there's, you know, Blink Stalkers can be really good because you can blink into the main, you can kind of maneuver between the natural and the main base, and also you have those counterattack paths, right? You have the pathway at the top, pathway at the bottom, and of course the shorter resistance, which can open up a variety of interesting situations. So we'll have to see what happens here. I'm going to ask if these players are ready. They're in the lobby right now.
State is ready.
State is ready. Now waiting on word from our Chinese player top. He says go. So
no, that's a good point. With how good Blink Stalkers are.
Yeah.
Top's a player who loves Blink Stalker, so we may see him go down that route. But on the other hand, remember, he tried to go Blink against Minigun, and Minigun just said, I'll just expand and get Immortals and Sentries, and if I defend well, you're going to be behind.
What map was that?
That was on Acheron Waste.
It was, well, we know it wasn't Neo Planet S, and that's going to be much different.
Yeah, it was on Acheron Waste, I think, between them.
Yes, you were absolutely right.
Actually, I have all these notes.
You were absolutely right.
Yeah, it was Acheron Waste.
So, we're going to have to remake. Of course, State disconnected from the map. So we're going to have to get that remade. But yeah, continue on with your point.
So, you know, Top may realize this. Okay, you know, these American up-and-coming players, they obviously know enough about PvP to deal with this one-base Blink Stalker attack. And none of his one-base builds have worked for him yet. He tried another one last game, and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
I mean, well, actually, no, he tried to expand, but I mean... he got stuck coming to attack, and
it was one of those things where he's like super afraid of this Blink Stalker all-in. Like he's reacting to this Blink Stalker play from his opponent on two bases, doing the right things, right? Having the Immortals, you're having to watch. Okay, he's gonna blink into my main base. Do I have to worry about that? Am I gonna get force field at the ramp? He's just freaking out about this. But what was interesting there was the Stalker count kept getting lower and lower from State, and you could tell he wasn't replenishing it. So it's one of those things where if you can identify that, if you can identify the Stalker count not necessarily growing, that's when you're like, okay, what is he using these extra resources on? And that's when you have to identify when the DTs happen. Top, unable to make that happen, right?
Yeah, and I mean, that's literally exactly what came out through. DTs did a lot of damage there.
Yeah. It's like 50 Harvesters versus 19.
At the end, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you have to win. When you only have 19 Harvesters and your opponent has 50 Harvesters, like you have to win right there. Or do what Top did against Xenocider, or just make a bunch of High Templars, but that's not
everything.
Yeah, that's not really as applicable in PvP, right?
Or at least not when you don't even have Templar Archives or Sidestorm yet.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Not even a Twilight Council. Like he had Robo Stargate. So again, a very interesting game, very interesting situation. Countdown has begun. Let's try to get into this next game again and see if it works. It's going to be on Neo Planet S. Again, we talked a little bit about this shorter resistance, very interesting, unique attack paths along both the top side of the map and the bottom side of the map. Speaking of the top side of the map, I present to you the red Protoss player representing Team Zenith of Origin, hailing from China. I was looking at the chat, and I noticed we have a lot of Chinese individuals in the chat. At least I think. I see the Chinese language being typed out a little bit. So welcome. How do you say welcome in Chinese, Nick?
I have no idea.
Nick. Dang it. Of course, there's different variations.
Mandarin, Cantonese, the two main ones.
Yep. We have Top, Zenith of Origin. His opponent in the bottom left-hand location. I present your blue Protoss player. He defeated Xenocider in the first match of the evening 2-0, then went on to lose to Minigun 1-2. Can he convert a victory here to qualify himself for WCS America Premier League Season 2? He is State. It all comes down to this, Mr. Nick.
It does. I'm curious if State going to be so diligent as guiding for proxy gateways. It looks like he is. Yep. State is always on top of that. Very aware of the possibility. A lot of players don't scout for it in Heart of the Storm and say, you know what, with Mothership Core, I don't need to worry about it. But we've seen occasionally people do lose to those builds.
Yeah.
Well, it's much harder to make the build work than it was in Wings of Liberty. It still is something to consider. And as people delay the side core, delay gateway production, they chrono out probes like crazy, get double gas so fast, it does make you a little more vulnerable to some crazy shenanigans.
I remember like just like a year ago, people building gateways in like my mineral line, and I don't even know how to react to that because they don't even care if you see it. Those are the scariest builds I've ever seen.
Yeah, because you know that guy has probably done that in his last 3 ladder games.
Yeah, he knows exactly what to do. And
nobody does those builds in ladder who actually like people. If you run into those builds in ladder, like this is the type of guy who probably always does it, because people who do a variety of builds, they only do like the proxy gate build like 10 times. They're like, okay, I've got this down pat. I don't need to practice it too much.
Right.
Now, with other builds, it's different. Like double barracks proxy against Zerg is still different because
you can transition out of it.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to practice the transitions. You got to practice the micro in that situation, exactly where to place the bunkers. A little more technical. But the super crazy things like proxy gates is
nothing crazy happening here. Of course, I don't want to hold my tongue, and I don't want to jinx anything. As we have some spasms. Hopefully both these players are okay.
Both players going sentries.
Yeah, so this looks like initially, obviously very defensive builds for now, which could mean either, obviously really fast tech or a really fast expansion. But I'm like really wary of fast expansion on this map. You don't have high ground on your natural. It's relatively wide open choke there at the natural. And again, the shorter rush distance. I feel like rushing to tech might be the better option.
See, Top's going straight for Twilight Council.
Trying to trap that probe is State.
Oh, but that probe's getting a nice second lap around the base, and that's delaying State's decision of what he's going to do. And it might even give away the fact he's expanding if the probe can identify there's no tech. There's a section of the main he has to be able to identify at the kind of top left section of the main.
Oh, gonna get it. Another sentry coming out.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to get through there.
Take it out. Nice kill there. And he didn't see the Nexus. So the Nexus was placed down as it was all happening. Now this is what we talked about. State is going for this expansion build. Top going straight into Blink. Straight into Blink. He's chrono boosting it too, and that's a very fast Twilight Council. We have to see if State can identify this because, again, it's so tricky. The main is it's very accessible by Blink Stalkers. Excuse me.
It is. State is doing almost the most optimal, perfect way to defend this. I mean, as far as getting an expansion, because he got the Rebel immediately after the expansion.
Yes.
And his first units are all sentries, and that does two things. One, to build up a lot of energy. And force fields do help against Blink Stalkers, because if they use their Blink, then you trap them with force fields and they'll die. So they have to be very scared about using Blink if there's sentries around. And then the second thing it does is that they're very mineral light. So all those extra minerals in the early game, his second and third gateway are basically as fast as Top's gateways, even though he expanded Amulet Robo.
Immortal immediately started. Skipping the Observer.
I would do that too against
Top.
Top.
It's a really safe move.
Oh, he's using a Hallucinating Phoenix to scout.
Yes.
Nice.
Of course, using some energy. Now the Phoenix is going to see what happens, and now Top knows exactly what needs to happen. He needs to kill his opponent because, as this game goes along, State is going to get an advantage. Honestly, if I was State, I would consider stopping pro production fairly soon. He's at 28 harvesters above his opponent's 24. He identifies the 4 gates in the Twilight. He knows exactly what's happening. But can he hold it off?
Chrono boosting out a second, where he already has one Immortal. The front Nexus can easily hold off a Photon Overcharge, but there's a Sentry to competition. He took in a Force Field and potentially blink up or down.
Mothership Core will give him vision to that high ground. State being very careful, very cautious.
State has more units here currently, but there's more Stalkers being rallied in now.
Again, as this game goes along, State is going to be in a better and better position.
3 Stalkers going to be careful. They're blinked on top of the good old.
Immortal about to pop out of this Robo here.
He's doing it.
He's doing it. He's coming out. Mothership Core coming back. 2 Immortals are here from State. He's not going to do too much, but there's the Time Warp now. Can a Sentry go and sneak down a Force Field? The Immortal getting targeted down, and there's the blink out from Top. Great pick off there. Sentry not Force Field in the ramp though.
It was so important to kill that Immortal. State, he should have rallied another way. It's a little bit of a misrally there, but he still has Photon Overcharge. He still has 1 Immortal.
Needs to be so cautious. There's another blink into the main. Top is so good with this. He's so abusive with his Blink Stalkers. Might even snipe the Mothership Core. Great pick off there from Top. Force Field's going down. He can just blink out.
Oh man,
those
top
are important
is
force fields too.
I mean, this is a build almost no one's brave enough to do anymore. To one base play soccer because of the Mothership Core. But
he might
he's
just
making
blink
it work.
forward. There's no photon overcharge. The Immortal being taken down is now Top is overwhelming his opponent with units. Another Immortal popping out of the Robo, but Top might try to blink on top of that. The probe's gonna be pulled. State can't afford to lose a few probes. Now he's only one probe ahead.
The went down. There's no high ground vision anymore.
That's huge. Again, no observer, no ability to go up to that high ground. Does he have a sentry that he can make a hallucinated anything? I don't think he does anymore.
No, I mean, he had one and it died, and
that would be the only option.
He didn't have energy anyway.
He just overwhelm with Stalkers, can he?
He can, I think
too much.
He might, but it's a little bit careful. You gotta be careful about that Immortal.
And Zella underneath is gonna be very important because that's gonna cause some hesitation from Top. Oh, it's such a tricky situation.
State can't even produce another Immortal. He doesn't have the money.
Oh, the Immortal gonna be targeted down. He's gonna try to back him up to the high ground. Remember, no high ground vision. That's huge. He cannot see the Immortal. One Stalker blinking up, taking that last shot, taking out the Immortal, and that's such a big deal. Great awareness there from Top, giving himself that vision. But did this buy State enough time? Scrambling to get more units on the field, but so many Stalkers here from Top, and he's just it's just too much.
Time doesn't even help State.
He
lost so many
economy
probes. And just now starting his second Immortal. He's gonna lose a natural. And Top, if he doesn't warp in a Sentry soon, okay, good. A Sentry can force field the ramp to prevent Top from going up.
If he blinks one Stalker, though.
Yeah, he has to hit the force field now. If he hit the force field now, he actually can't blink the Stalker because you can stop him. Oh, is that
enough?
Yeah, that's fine.
That scared me a little bit.
But he won't have another Sentry warped in time. So, and the Mortal won't be out.
No gas.
Yeah, exactly. He's backing up. He knows he has to wait for the Mortal. He knows the force field won't last that long. But if he goes straight for the Robo.
Oh, that's only... Okay, there's another pylon powering it.
Oh, but this will deactivate one of those warp gates. Every warp gate is so important.
Yes, well, with this low econ, there's so many Stalkers still alive here from Top, trying to blink back those weakened guys. The Immortal coming out, but those blink Stalkers blinking right on top of it, taking it out. State in a very dire situation. Top up 53 to 25 in supply, poised to take the 2-1. State pulling the probes, and this could be the end. It is the end of our North American Protoss player, and Top takes the 2-1 victory. And he's going to advance to WCS America Premier League Season 2. Amazing Blink Stalker play.
It was. Perfect. You know, every time State mispositioned his units, he spread them out. You can't spread units out. Every time he spread them out, Top said, I'll get 3 free units. And I mean, and that's a build you don't see anymore because if you don't get the 2-3 free units, you're not going to break the defense. It just isn't going to happen. But the combination of State... He had Lightnings on the low ground, even though he had Photon Overcharge to defend there. A little bit of a misplacement. And then his second Immortal rallied towards a vulnerable spot. It rallied away from his army. And if you can't build the Immortal count, a player like Top is going to... We saw it. He didn't
isolate him.
And then if there's only one Immortal, he can just blink whatever Stalker it hits, and his micro is so good. It's a nightmare dealing with that guy.
That's what he's known for. I mean, pretty much what he's known for. Those blink Stalkers, Top, converting victory. Great play from him. Again, advancing to Premier League. Let's take a look at what's happened today. Minigun taking the 2-0 over Top to start things off. State 2-0ing Xenocider. State made it all the way to the winner's match, but fell to Minigun just barely. 2-1. Minigun advanced into WCS America Premier League Season 2. Then Top able to take down both Xenocider and State to secure his position in WCS America Season 2 Premier League. So, that being said, our two players advancing on. Minigun and Top. State going to be third in the group. He's going to advance to Challenger League next season. Going to try to fight his way back into Premier League. And Xenocider will be out of WCS America. Guys, coming up tomorrow, we have the next group of action. It's a good one. Tasia versus Hello Kitty. To start things out, people are like, Tasia versus Hello Kitty. LOL. Tasia wins. Not so fast,
Hello Kitty took out Heart, and he almost took out Ryung.
Hello Kitty is a crafty guy. He's a very crafty guy. And then we're going to have Neeb versus Maker. People making predictions. I feel like Tasia should get top 2.
I mean, you feel like he should get number 1, right?
Yeah.
But nothing's assured.
Anything can happen.
The battle for number 2 is going to be incredibly hard fought.
Yes, indeed, guys. That's coming up tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern again. Every single day at 6 p.m. Eastern, we got something going on here Monday through Friday this week as we round out the Challenger League of Season 1. Of course, coming up next on this stream, Rules of Engagement.
That's right. Going to be going over a couple of games from last week's play.
Okay.
So a couple of cool games there from Groups A and B of last week's Challenger Group stage.
Yep.
It's going to be fun. A lot of awesome analysis.
All right, guys. Remember, all day, all week this week, 6 p.m. Eastern, WCS America going on. Meanwhile, coming up next, stay tuned. We got Rules of Engagement. Have a great evening.